Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy Lunar New Year 2025. To celebrate the year of the snake, I'm making this batch of vegan and gluten-free longevity noodles. According to AI Gemini on Google, longevity noodles are long, uncut noodles typically served in Chinese cuisine, symbolizing long life and prosperity due to their length. They're traditionally eaten whole without breaking them. I'm gonna be a little bit nervous, not gonna lie, eating these noodles. I did not read this before planning this whole recipe. Anyways, let's get to the details. There's 10 beautiful ingredients sitting right here in front of me that I'll be using to make these longevity noodles. Let's go through each of them one by one super quickly. All right, first up we've got this literal smorgasbord of fresh veggies that I'll be chopping up to put into the longevity noodles. I've washed these off and patted them dry, so they're all ready to go. I'll be using, I believe it's 6 of these green onions, otherwise known as scallions, 5 baby bok choy, that's what these leafy green veggies are with this bulb at the bottom. There's also 2 heads of broccoli over here. And the last thing on this veggie board is this bulb of garlic. I'll be using 5 cloves from this bulb. I'm also using this 7-ounce container of shiitake mushrooms, 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar, 1/4 cup of sesame seed oil, 2 tablespoons of tamari, which is brewed soy sauce. It's gluten-free, while a lot of soy sauces are not gluten-free. This is one of 2 things that I modified in the recipe to make sure that this recipe was gluten-free as well as vegan. 1 teaspoon of ginger powder. And finally, this 300-gram package of rice noodles. This was the second alteration that I made to the recipe. You can use wheat noodles or another kind of noodle that contains gluten in it. I prefer to eat gluten-free most of the time, so that's why I went with rice noodles. Before I get to the 10 recipe steps, I want to feature today's sponsor. It's PIXI. They were kind enough to send me a beautiful 17-piece knife set. I'm gonna make some room here because it's quite the ensemble. So here you go. All 17 of the pieces, as well as the beautiful wood block. PIXI is a brand of German knives, and I did do a full unboxing video of this knife set. I'll link it up here so you can check that out. In addition to knives and knife sets like this one, they also sell a really unique product called a horizontal bread slicer. You basically cut your bread or anything else horizontally. Anyways, for this recipe video, I'll be using this pair of scissors. I'm gonna be using these 2 knives here. So this one at the end is a santoku knife. It's a Japanese style blade with a flat edge, like a flat blade. That's really good for chopping vegetables. And I'm also using this chef's knife. So you'll get to see me using a couple of these large knives, which magnetize to the outside of the block. Now that I've gotten to spotlight that incredible knife set, I'm just still so obsessed with it. Let's get into the 10 recipe steps. And before I dive into those, I have linked the recipe down below that I'm adapting here, so check it out if you're curious about how to make these longevity noodles. For step number 1, I'll chop all of the veggies that I've got sitting here right on my cutting board that I showed you earlier. For step number 2, I'll heat the 1/4 cup of sesame seed oil in my soup pot that's sitting on my stovetop all ready to go. For step number 3, I'll add the chopped broccoli, the chopped garlic, the chopped scallions, the light brown sugar, and the ginger powder into the soup pot, and I'll saute it all together for about 5 minutes. For step number 4, I'll add in the 7 ounces of shiitake mushrooms and the 2 tablespoons of tamari, and I'll stir everything together in the soup pot for another 2 minutes or so. For step number 5, I'll add the 5 baby bok choys to the soup pot. I'll mix everything together, cover the soup pot, and let the bok choy wilt down for about 5 minutes. For step number 6, I'll place the veggie mixture into a glass bowl and set it aside. For step number 7, I'll fill the empty soup pot with water. I'll bring it to a boil, and then I'll add the rice noodles into the water and let them cook for 5 minutes. For step number 8, I'll drain the rice noodles, rinse them in cold water, and then place them in a large glass bowl. For step number 9, I'll add the sauteed veggie mixture into the large bowl with the noodles and stir everything together. I'm also planning on drizzling some extra tamari and sesame seed oil over everything just to help it come together. And then for step number 10, the last step of this longevity longevity noodle recipe. I'll serve up the longevity noodles. I'll be so careful not to break them. Fingers crossed. I'll dig into the noodles and let you know what I think. I also grabbed a box of these Tai Ling fortune cookies from my grocery store. I thought it'd be fun to open up a fortune cookie and see what awaits me in the year of the snake. Hopefully it's good stuff. Now that we've covered all the ingredients and all the recipe steps for these longevity noodles, let's get started chopping these veggies. So I'm gonna grab this beautiful knife set over here. And before I start chopping, let me give you a close-up of these knives just so you have a better sense of what they look like. This is the chef's knife I'll be using. It's 8 inches long, or for those of you who use the metric system, it's 20.3 centimeters. And this knife is made of German high carbon stainless steel. Here we have the Santoku knife I mentioned earlier. This one is 7 inches long, or 17.7 centimeters. Also made of German high carbon stainless steel. And with that, let's get chopping. All right, everybody, it's time to assemble these longevity noodles. I've got my lovely sauteed veggies over here, so I'm just gonna plop them right into this bowl. I rarely purchase shiitake mushrooms. They're not the cheapest mushrooms you can buy at the grocery store, so you can bet your bottom dollar I wanna use every last one of these. To try and keep the noodles together and not break so much, I'm gonna add a little bit of my tamari and some sesame seed oil as well. I'm pretty happy with how these noodles are looking. Another reason why I like adding some tamari and sesame seed oil onto the noodles with the veggies is it does help to color the noodles a bit so they're not so pale white. So let's dig into these noodles, shall we? Come on, noodles, stick together for me, please. Ooh. I decided to go with a plate rather than a bowl just so you would have an easier time seeing everything. This is what they're looking like, all plated up, ready to go. I'm very proud of these, I have to say. I figured it would be appropriate if I ate these with some chopsticks. I'm gonna try to get some of the bok choy, shiitake, maybe a little piece of broccoli if I can hang on to it. Might not be able to get it all in one bite, but that's totally fine. Cheers to what the new lunar year holds. I can't wait to find out. Oh, these are good. These are so good. I love the flavor from the sesame seed oil. So tasty. And they're sticking together, so hey, there's some prosperity. I think I did a pretty good job keeping these noodles together. Now that I've gotten a chance to taste these longevity noodles, I want to open up a fortune cookie and see what my fortune is. So much suspense. I love fortune cookies, they're so fun. They are vegan, they don't contain any animal products, but they're not gluten-free. They're made primarily with bleached white flour. Ooh, okay. You know, on these fortune cookie papers, they'll give you a Chinese word. Okay, let me just read this to you. It says learn Chinese, and then the word I got was drunk/tipsy, and it's zui. Maybe I can put a clip of it here.
Zui.
I don't know what to make of that, but the lucky numbers, I'm very happy to say, one of them includes 13. It's 26, 10, 54, 13, 23, and 3. And then, oh my gosh, this is great. It says, all the little things will add to a happy journey. I think that's good for me because I can gloss over smaller things and just be really focused on big picture, big goals, and, you know, maybe disregard or devalue little things that really do add up. This is actually a really nice and entertaining fortune to get for a new lunar year. All right, and on that fun, goofy note, I'm still laughing that I got drunk/tipsy as my Chinese word of the day. I hope you enjoyed this longevity noodle recipe video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. I'm trying to think what recipes I should link for you at the end of this video. All right, I've got one for you. It's the Romeo pasta that I made basically a year ago now. I want to say it was February of 2024. It's a very lush take on traditional spaghetti. I think there's like coconut cream and a little bit of spice in it and cherry tomatoes. For those of you looking for a nice Valentine's Day dish, that one could be perfect for date night. Okay, I've got it. The second recipe I'm linking for you at the end of this video, it's another Chinese dish. It's Kung Pao tofu. I believe that one was both vegan and gluten-free. You definitely have the spicy option with that dish. I bought myself some chili peppers, and to really kick up the heat, I took some scissors and snipped the peppers open so the seeds were dispersed. Very good, but I wouldn't recommend it if you are sensitive to spice. Before I sign off here, I would be remiss to not thank the sponsor of today's video, which is PIXI. I just want to get these lovely knives in the frame one more time because I'm simply blown away with their generosity. I am so proud to just have these beautiful knives sitting here on my countertop. I feel like it adds so much to my kitchen. So a big thank you to PIXI. You have been incredible to partner with, and I so appreciate the products that you've sent to me. Take care, my lovely foodies. Eat well. Happy New Year to those of you who are celebrating the Chinese Lunar New Year, and I'll see you in the next episode on this channel. Bye!